it's told of the Chabad Shaliach in Alabama that one day he was walking down the street and an older gentleman called to him from his porch and said, "Hey, mister, what them there strings you got hanging?" Speaking, of course, of his tzitzit. And the Chabad rabbi, knowing he was in the Bible Belt, answers, Numbers chapter 20. The man thinks for a moment and he said, "Well, ain't one of them supposed to be blue?" Of course, he's speaking of the Techeilet, that strand of blue which we are meant to have on our tzitzit. And for many, many generations after the destruction of the temple, the secret recipe to make this dye was lost, and people just didn't know how to. And the understanding was, when Mashiach comes, that's be one of the things that we get restored, is the Techeilet. Well, there was a great Hasidic Rebbe known as the Radziner Rebbe, the Sod Yesharim, and he said, well, maybe we have it backwards. Maybe if instead of waiting for Mashiach to come and renew the Techeilet, if we renew the Techeilet, it'll help to bring Mashiach. So he went, and he, knowing from the Mishnah that it needs to be made from the blood of a sea animal, he went and he found a cuttlefish that gives black ink, and found a way that this black ink could be made into a blue dye. And he invented what's called the Radziner Techeilet. And here I have some of it. And you can see it's quite a bold color of blue. It's very, very, intense dye. Now, later, once we were back in Israel, some archaeologists found another snail, and they found evidence that there was probably a different snail that was being used in the production of the Techeilet, the Murex trunculus snail, and they developed how to make the Techeilet from that animal. And you can see here that Techeilet is a little bit lighter. It's not quite the same intensity. And you can see here they are, see them together, and see that the Radziner Techeilet is quite a bit bolder and darker. Nevertheless, the general consensus amongst scientists and archaeologists today is that the Patil Techeilet is it's called the Efrat Techeilet, is probably historically much more accurate. Nevertheless, the spirit of what Techeilet represents was really renewed with the Radziner Rebbe, and that's because the word Techeilet comes from the word Yachol, to be capable. When Yaakov Avinu was wrestling with the angel, and he's given the name Yisrael, it's because you have wrestled with God and with people at Vatuchal, and you can do it. So the Techeilet really represents this. You can do it spirit, the spirit of capability. And what's amazing is that the Radziner Hasidim, who were in existence in Poland at the time of the Shoah, were the only group of Hasidim that, as a whole, including their Rebbe, took up arms and became fighting partisans. And they fought against the Nazis and against their collaborators, and were imbued with that spirit of, we're going to do something about it, and we're going to rise up. And so that spirit of that ability to rise up and take a hold of our situation and not wait for Mashiach to come, not wait for something to happen to us, but to get up and do it. That's the message of the Techeilet, and it's right there and you can feel it in that bold color of blue. So whether you have the Radziner Techeilet or the Efrat Techeilet or just the memory of Techeilet, we should know that when we see the tzitzit, it's meant to remind us you can do it. Whatever the challenge that you're facing, whatever craving you may have coming up inside of you that you need to overcome, or whatever emotional challenge you may be facing, you can do it. That's the message of Techeilet. Shabbat Shalom.